Have you ever had something that left a bad taste in your mouth whenever you thought of it? You know, something that would literally keep you up at night? For me personally, the bane of my existence has always been the fact that we never found out for certain what Madara's Mangekyo Sharingan ability actually was. So, this video will be a bit of a cry for help on my end. I'll go over all the popular theories regarding what Madara's special ability was. Hopefully by the end we can collectively come to an acceptable answer. But I definitely want you guys to help me out on this one in the comment section below. And while you're at it, please like the video and subscribe to help out the channel. Without further ado, let's begin. A pretty popular answer to this question is usually that Madara's Mangekyo powers are just Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu. This comes from a misinterpretation of an old Itachi statement where he says that the Susanoo took root in his eyes once he awakened both Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu. The problem with this is that Itachi is very clearly talking about his own abilities here. He's not making a generalized statement regarding how the Susanoo is achieved for everyone. We know this because all the other Mangekyo users with known abilities have unique powers that are different from Itachi's. For instance, Obito has Kamui, Shisui has Korono Tsukami, Sasuke has Kagetsushi, and so on. So there's no real reason to assume that Madara would be an exception here. Moving on to the next popular answer, which is Limbo. While this would have been cool, since Limbo is an utterly ridiculous and broken jutsu, unfortunately it has been confirmed to be a Rinnegan-based ability, more than once. So that's another dead end. Another one that I hear a lot is that his special ability is Tengai Shinsei. Once again, I think this could have been a pretty kick-ass Mangekyo ability and very fitting for Madara. With that being said though, I have my doubts. The fact that this was used by Rinnegan Madara rather than EMS Madara makes me very hesitant to say that this is his EMS ability, especially because we know Madara has to revert his Rinnegan back to a Sharingan to use Sharingan abilities. Also, something worth noting is that he pulled out this ability after talking with Kabuto about the Rinnegan and how this was not a power that he'd created. Finally, pulling a meteor out of the sky seems like something that would lie in the Diva Path's territory. So when we consider all of these things, I feel like Tengai Shinsei is a pretty weak option when all is said and done. Another one I've been hearing a lot lately is that apparently Madara's EMS ability was the ability to distinguish wood clones from the original. Something only he could do. I'm not gonna lie, bro, this is fucking stupid. First off, the fact that nobody could do it doesn't mean anything because nobody alive at the time had ocular powers anywhere near the level of Madara's EMS. Secondly, just think about it for a second. Would it make any level of sense for both of Madara's Mangekyo powers being solely dedicated to countering Hashiramo's wood clones and nothing else? So yeah man, safe to say, I don't really buy this one as a serious contender in my opinion. Another one that comes up a lot is the Infinite Tsukuyomi. I won't waste too much time on this one, it's just wrong. Madara could only use a limited version of the Infinite Tsukuyomi because he was hooked to the Geromazu and was using its power to do it. Also, people forget that he didn't even have his own eyes at that point, as he'd already given them to Nagato. So yeah, this one's also just useless. So where does that leave us exactly? All of the potential options from the manga just don't work for one reason or another. This means we'll have to look outside the original series if we have any hope of answering this question. Which leads me to Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations. This game had an interesting OVA titled Hashirama Senju vs Madara Uchiha. As we can clearly see in this clip, Madara's EMS seems to activate, and shortly after, it seems to revert Hashirama's actions in a way, almost as if it's reversing time itself. I guess before we jump into any conclusions here, we should see if this really could be the one. And to do that, I'll go over all the counter arguments against this being legit, and see if I can address them. Number 1. This is from a game, so it's not canon. While I can understand this sentiment, I feel like an exception can be made here. CyberConnect 2's CEO, Hiroshi Matsuyama, has come out and said that Musashi Kishimoto actually helps write and approve these original episode scripts. They have also been referred to as canon before, so at the very least, they should be somewhat consistent with Kishimoto's vision to some extent, and should be considered as a sort of corporate or composite canon, if not outright canon to the original story. And to be honest, given how desperate we are here and with really no other valid options left, I feel like we have to look at this OVA as a genuine source of information. Number 2. This is different from the fight we saw during Hashirama's flashback in the war arc. This is true. However, you gotta keep in mind this was told from Obito's POV, while the war arc flashback was told from Hashirama's. This version being a bit different makes sense because A. Obito likely got his version of the story from Madara or Zetsu, so something being embellished or lost in translation makes sense when a story goes through multiple people. Additionally, Madara and Hashirama's battle can last for a whole day, so it's not like the tiny snapshot of the battle we were given in the war arc covered the entire fight from start to finish, meaning it could be possible that Obito's version was simply covering another point in the fight, and there would be no contradiction. And finally, the OVA is actually a direct, almost one-to-one adaptation of the version of the fight that Obito narrated to Sasuke in chapter 399. Like, some moments in the OVA were taken straight out of the manga. This was over 200 chapters before the Hashirama version was released, so it's also entirely possible that Kishimoto's vision of the fight had simply changed slightly in that time frame. Basically, I don't think this version of the fight being somewhat different from Hashirama's version should make us completely dismiss the potential that how Madara's MS ability was portrayed here wasn't Kishimoto's vision, at least at some point in the past. Whether the idea for it was later scrapped is really anyone's guess. Number 3. Obito is an unreliable source. Now, normally I would agree, but given the fact that Obito got his information from either Madara or Zetsu, both of whom were present that night, kinda gives me some confidence to consider his version of events as somewhat reliable. It doesn't trump Hashirama's narration, of course, but I think we can at least take it into account. Number 4. If Madara had such a busted ability, why'd he never use it? This one's really simple to answer. We never saw a full fight from a live MS or EMS Madara, so we really don't have a proper frame of reference to conclusively say he never used it. We can only properly judge Edo and revive Madara, since those are the versions we actually saw in action. And to put it simply, he never really had any cause to use it. Madara at no point was never really pushed to use such an ability. Furthermore, he was clearly way more interested in trying out his newly acquired abilities, such as the Rinnegan and Hashirama's wood release. Let me put it like this. If you've had a toy you've been playing with for years, and you suddenly got a new one to play with, wouldn't it make sense for you to try out the new toy and throw the old one on the shelf? This was Madara's mindset during the war. He was having way too much fun and trying out his new abilities because he never really had any true reason to use it, because he was never really in danger or pushed to that point. He always had an out. Number 5. But wait, isn't this just a cool visual representation of the Sharingan's precognition rather than time reversal? Honestly, you'd be excused for thinking this, but in my opinion, it's not the case. If it were precognition, then Hashirama's actions that Madara foresaw would play out the exact same way after his vision, but they play out differently after the ability was performed, which would only make sense because Hashirama was likely used to having some of his actions and attacks undone in this way, given how much they fought in the past. Number 6. Why wouldn't Kishimoto reveal such a broken ability in the manga? I don't know, bro. Ask Kishimoto, I guess. So, we went over pretty much all the possibilities here, and the time reversal thing is the only one that's even remotely possible. Now, is it a surefire thing? Is it really confirmed? No, unfortunately it's not. It's still a bit of a stretch, to be honest. I might be reaching here, but you know what, dude? it's better than nothing, so I'll fucking take it, honestly. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section below. Do you think my conclusion makes sense? If you have any ideas to finally settle this debate, please let me know. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.
No, little German boy! Don't go to the weed cave!
Oh mein Gott, sie ist ein Cave voll of Blündsmucken.
No!